Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to the Hurricane HQ. And today we'll be discussing tomorrow's severe weather outbreak and possible tornado outbreak, and what we could expect for where those storms will be and how strong they will get. Now, as we take a look at tomorrow's Storm Prediction Center general outlook here, you can see we have an enhanced risk for severe weather already issued across much of the southeast. This enhanced risk includes portions of Alabama, Mississippi, Kentucky, Arkansas, and extreme northeastern Louisiana. And this enhanced risk also covers just about all of Tennessee here. So a very large enhanced risk is currently in effect. Then we also have that slight risk and marginal risk surrounding that enhanced. So we could see a few severe thunderstorms popping up in some other areas around this enhanced risk. Honestly, you could see there is potential for severe thunderstorms anywhere from Texas to extreme southwest Pennsylvania. Now, this is actually my forecast for what the Storm Prediction Center outlook would look like tomorrow. If there is a moderate risk issued, I believe if there is a moderate risk issued tomorrow, it will likely be in this area right here, indicated in the red area. As this is really where the highest tornado threat is, and there is potential for it to be upgraded to a 15% significant risk, which would most likely equal a moderate risk. And keep in mind that this outlook right here is mine and not by the Storm Prediction Center or any other official agency. Now let's move on back to our official Storm Prediction Center outlook here. This is actually for our tornado probabilities tomorrow. And as you can see, we actually have a 10% risk here for some tornadoes actually, and then we also have this hatched area right here, which actually that actually means that there is a significant threat for some of those very strong tornadoes, potentially even stronger than EF2, and we could be seeing several of those honestly in this area. So this is what we have to be watching out for. We could be seeing a few tornadoes with strength in excess of EF2 or EF1 or anything like that. We could be seeing some decent sized tornadoes tomorrow. Now, I'm not going to say this is a full tornado outbreak. I'm not even sure if this will become a tornado outbreak yet, as there is a lot of uncertainty on what exactly will be happening tomorrow. Although I can safely say that there is definitely a threat for some significant tornadoes potentially, and I feel like they might upgrade this risk to a 15% in the coming day, possibly early morning hours tomorrow. Now let's move on to our hail probabilities here. You can see we have a 15% risk for some large damaging hail over 1 inch in diameter. And keep in mind that this 15% is within 25 miles of any given point. So for example, you place a point here. Any area within 25 miles of this point, there is a 15% chance of large hail in excess of 1 inch in diameter. Now let's move on to our wind probabilities. This is our second highest probabilities tomorrow. You can see we have a 30% chance of some of those very damaging wind gusts in these thunderstorms, and this is mostly for Tennessee, Arkansas, and I'd say extreme northern Alabama and Mississippi, and then also southern Kentucky. You're in this wind risk, so damaging winds is also a threat, and tornadoes and damaging winds is really the leading threat with this system here. Although there is potential again for that large hail. Again, there's a 15% chance for that, so we still have to watch out for that large hail. Now let's move on to our Weather Prediction Center on day 2 excessive rainfall outlook here. You can see we have a moderate risk in effect for some of that excessive rainfall. This goes from Arkansas all the way into West Virginia here and Ohio. And honestly, I think we could be seeing a lot of flash flooding in this area and really anywhere. With these thunderstorms, there is potential for some flash flooding. This flash flood risk, it goes from southern Alabama and Mississippi all the way north to Pennsylvania. That's where we could be there. That's where the potential for some flash flooding is. And yeah, I'd say the highest threat would be in this red and yellow area, which is the moderate and slight area. That's really where we're going to have to watch out for the very excessive rainfall. Although I'd say anywhere really you have to watch out. Now, as we move on to our U.S. overview for tomorrow, you can see we have a lot of colors on this right here. So you can see a very large area of excessive rainfall and severe weather. Right here, this red region is excessive rainfall, and the yellow is severe thunderstorms. So anywhere in both of these areas, you really have to watch out for some dangerous severe weather. And that severe weather threat, at least a marginal risk, I believe does extend for this entire at least slight risk. So the same areas where there's a slight risk or moderate risk for excessive rainfall, there is that risk for some severe weather in those areas. Regardless of the threat level, there is a threat. So definitely watch out if you're in either of those areas for those strong thunderstorms and flash flooding. Now, as we move on to today's current weather alerts here, you can see huge flash flood watch extends all the way from West Virginia down into Oklahoma here. This is really where the main threat for flash flooding is, and this is actually a flood watch. Sorry for that. Flash flood watch and a flood watch is exactly the same thing, although a flash flood watch is no longer being used. Flash flood watches, they basically renamed it to flood watch, so just keep that in mind when you're looking at this, although yes, flood watch is in effect for these areas right here, which does mean that we have to watch out for some flash flooding in those areas. And then we also have our winter setup over here, which is bringing a lot of winter storm warnings and winter weather advisories for these areas over here. So definitely watch out if you're in these areas here for those slippery road conditions and possibly some decent snow accumulation in some of those areas. And then we also have another huge area of wind chill warnings and wind chill advisories here. You can see right here, that is where we were seeing very cold temperatures and very cold field-like temperatures. And, okay, I haven't seen this in a long time. Right here, over one of the Great Lakes here, there is a freezing spray advisory or warning. Not sure which one, but watch out for some freezing spray if you're in those areas. I haven't seen a freezing spray alert in a while for some of these areas, but yeah, it's there. So definitely watch out if you're a mariner in those areas, as yeah, very cold temperatures could cause some freezing spray. And then we also have winter weather advisories in the Northeast there. Again, the West Coast, you're seeing a lot of special weather statements, wind advisories, and everything like that. Again, windy conditions possible in some of those areas. And then we also have a few flood alerts here on the East Coast. Some coastal flooding does remain possible from a setup offshore. Alright, now let's take a look at some weather models here. And I am going to quickly go through some models here. So we're going to start with the NAM model, and we're going to take a look at tomorrow's setup along with today's, although I'll briefly take a look at today's setup, although not much is going to be happening today. It's only a slight risk in some areas today. The real threat, I believe, is tomorrow. You can see today's threat actually goes through tonight, so you can see some severe weather possible tonight. Although the main threat does look like it is tomorrow. So this is January 1st. This is the main threat we're looking at. This is the New Year's Day setup here. So this is really the areas you want to be watching here on the screen, these areas. Whoops. So this is 6 a.m., 7 a.m. And you can see not much happens there. Actually, a lot of not precipitation, which actually probably would be good. I'm not sure if it's going to be exactly clear, although there could be some sun coming in there. So that is actually good for instability and severe weather there. That would actually help with daytime heating as well, assuming it's clear in those areas. But yeah, as you can see, the storms do start to move in. They will start over here, and you will see it doesn't look that much like a line of storms. It's really the tornado threat that we have to be watching out for. It's not going to be an organized setup. You can see it starts out kind of organized, and then eventually it will kind of get unorganized. But when it gets unorganized, that's where actually we have a tornado threat. So definitely watch out in those areas because there is a tornado threat there. We could be seeing a lot of those thunderstorms there with some of those hooks and a lot of rotation possibly. And again, tornadoes accompanying that. So definitely watch out tomorrow, as there is a lot of potential for some strong storms. And that should dwindle out by around 5 a.m. And then there is a marginal risk in effect for some severe weather across much of the East Coast there. So it is possible on day 3 we could be getting a few severe thunderstorms, although nothing too strong. It looks just to be like mostly just some rain, a few isolated rumbles of thunder in some of these areas. Now, if we take a look at what the NAM is saying for some wind shear, you could see January 1st, there's going to be a lot of wind shear. I am just telling you, there's a lot of wind shear with this event. Like, look at how much wind shear there is. I mean, yes, there is more north here, more wind shear. But that does come down by like 10 a.m. And then once the severe weather actually moves in, a lot of that wind shear moves through. And that is really going to help with that rotation and those rotating thunderstorms there. Wind shear is very good for rotating thunderstorms. Not good for humans, obviously, but you could see that the wind shear here will be causing some of these storms to, well, it would make it easier for some of these storms to have rotation. And now when we take a look at our K index here, you can see very numerous thunderstorms are going to be firing up in some of these areas here. Significant tornado parameter, there looks to be like a 4 to 5. Yeah, actually, there is a 6 in some areas here. I'd say especially in Tennessee, there is one area here that's almost 7 on the scale here. So, yeah, there is definitely tornado potential with this event. Not to lie, there is tornado potential, although once we get to like 5 a.m., all that tornado potential mostly dies out. So, by the morning of January 2nd, all of the severe weather potential will most likely be moved out. There is some isolated potential for a few tornadoes. For, I'd say, in Florida, maybe Tallahassee area, there's actually potential for a few tornadoes according to the significant tornado parameter, or I wouldn't even say it's showing tornadoes. I'd say there's just the right ingredients for some tornadoes in those areas. So, I mean, definitely watch out. I'd say anywhere from Arkansas, Louisiana, and to Georgia, watch out. Northern Florida. Although if you're in the Carolinas, Virginia, even eastern Florida, you're probably okay with the tornado threat. Doesn't look too bad. Supercell composite still, there's some high numbers on here. Not the highest I've seen, though. Cape, though, I'm honestly not seeing that much. There's not enough Cape. There is definitely some. I mean, honestly, alright, there is some across some of these areas. About maybe 1,000, 1,500 max. But still, I wouldn't say that there's enough. There's not much Cape. So, this is not going to be a super outbreak by any means. Although there could be tornadoes and some very, what's the word? Strong tornadoes, possibly. Some strong tornadoes could be moving through. Although I wouldn't say anything too crazy, as there just isn't enough instability, according to what the NAM is saying. There won't be enough instability. Alright, so now let's take a look at the, actually, let's take a look at the Euro model real quick. We'll take a look at what the Euro is showing. Precipitation, let's take a look at the surface cape here. So, the European model is showing some surface cape here. Not that much, honestly. It's not looking that good, honestly. Yeah, it's not showing enough, honestly. I mean, there definitely is some instability, and that will support these thunderstorms. Although, honestly, there isn't much cape. So, I don't think this is going to be that kind of setup that brings a high risk or anything. Although, honestly, it isn't all Cape-based. There is the right ingredients for some tornadoes, although it's not going to be a super outbreak by any means. There's just not enough instability for that. Although, it could still be a normal tornado outbreak with a few significant tornadoes. That's just based off what I'm seeing with the models. Now, if we look at the GFS model here, see Cape. The GFS is being a little bit more generous with the Cape here. It's giving a little bit more than the European model across some of these areas. So we'll see what happens. It is still over a day out, so we'll see what does happen. There is definitely potential for some severe storms, and really tornadoes is the main threat. Not even severe thunderstorms, honestly. Yeah, so that's gonna wrap up this video. I'm sorry again for my voice. I just got braces actually. So my voice is still a little weird. I'm trying to adapt to that and everything. So yeah, I'm sorry. My voice does sound a little bit weird on the mic here. I am actually working on a new setup here for my channel. That will be coming by around January, early January. I will be most likely having that all set up. I did order a new desk, and that will come in a bit. So I'm just waiting on my new desk and everything like that, and a few other things. So yeah, once I do get everything, I will be able to build my new weather setup here for the channel, and hopefully that will affect my videos in a positive way. And yeah, I really can't wait for the new weather setup that I am setting up here. And yeah, I hope everyone did enjoy this video and find it informative. If anyone has any comments, questions, concerns, please leave them in the comment section below. And I'm almost losing my feel for YouTube right now. I haven't made videos in so long, so I'm not really. I feel like I'm not doing it correctly or not saying things correctly. So, yeah, I will be posting more pretty soon. So, yeah. Hopefully, I will be getting better at this soon. Alright, so, if anyone doesn't want to check out my social links, my website is thehurricanehq.org. My Twitter page is @thehurricanehq. I post daily on there. Unlike YouTube, I post daily all the time. I do post on my Twitter page, so I definitely recommend you follow there. And, yeah, definitely follow there, and maybe even turn on notifications if you do like my posts. And on Instagram, I do not post as much, although I do post sometimes, so if you do want to follow that, I sometimes post updates in the morning on what could be happening later in the day. Anything significant I might post on my Instagram. And then on my YouTube channel is that youtube.com/thehurricanehq. You're watching this channel right now, and just in case you need a link for it or something, that is the link you can use. And yeah, if you do want to subscribe to the channel, is the red button below this video. I definitely recommend you subscribe to the channel, and possibly even ring the notification bell if you do want updates on whenever I do post any of my future videos. So yeah, thank you so much everyone for watching, and have an amazing day, and Happy New Year.